Master Krelthar watched the human female's vital signs plunge toward clinical death.
This is not sleep. This is a deliberate, total shutdown.
He ran diagnostics, certain the equipment had failed. The readings held steady.
My people sleep 90 seconds at a time, always half aware. To surrender consciousness is taboo.
Inside the pod, Linda's muscles went slack. Her body temperature dropped 2 degrees in minutes.
She has voluntarily entered a state that in any other species would require a death certificate.
Then her brain ignited. The hollow display erupted with rapid, chaotic wave patterns. REM, sleep. The dream imager resolved a fleeting image. A massive feline predator, teeth bared, chasing through a dark jungle.
She is not merely resting. She is rehearsing something.
Every instinct screamed at him to stop the recording. Instead, Krelthar leaned forward and watched through the night. Krelthar opened a formal log entry, his 3 hands trembling slightly over the console.
Subject exhibits complete voluntary muscle atonia. Core temperature intentionally lowered. Conscious awareness suspended. My species rests in 90-second microbursts. We never fully let go. To do so, to surrender awareness, is our oldest terror. The old texts call it soul abandonment. A living being choosing death, even for moments, is spiritual treason.
He looked at Linda's face through the pod glass. Serene, vulnerable, completely absent.
She could be killed in this state and would not even flinch. Why would evolution build this?
On the screens, REM erupted again, chaotic neural fireworks, while the body lay still.
I am entering this phenomenon into the record as anomalous total unconsciousness. It appears intentional, not pathological. This is not malfunction. This is a designed feature, an evolved state of deliberate sensory death.
He pushed the blasphemy from his mind and forced himself to document every phase. The night was only half over. By morning, Krelthar had searched every Coalition medical archive. The human sleep pattern was not an aberration. It was a species constant.
They all do this. Every single one. They die a little every night.
He requested an immediate audience with Director Vera, citing Regulation 34C for anomalous biological research.
You dragged me from a budget review for this? Humans sleep inefficiently. So do the Gexi. Hardly a priority.
Not inefficient. Director. Deliberate. They surrender consciousness for hours. Full paralysis. No species in the Coalition does this.
And yet, they wake refreshed. It is a quirk, Master Krelthar. I fail to see why it warrants emergency resources.
She dismisses it as trivia. But among my people, this would be soul abandonment. The oldest sin, Regulation 34C, grants extended monitoring if a biological phenomenon has no known parallel. This qualifies. I am invoking it.
Vera's 4 eyes narrowed. She studied him for a long moment before tapping her console. Approved. But if this wastes resources, your department pays. Krelthar strode back to the lab, the authorization burning in his hand. Linda was still sleeping, oblivious, her brain crackling with silent rehearsals, calibration complete. The dream imager locked on to Linda's REM state, painting her inner world across the primary display. The holo display flickered, then resolved into vivid imagery. A sunlit meadow, golden and serene. Then the sky bruised. A saber-toothed predator lunged from the underbrush, its roar silent in the void of her mind. Linda fled through the jungle. Her physical body remained a statue, but her heart rate spiked 140, 150, while she ran through terrain she had never seen.
She is not running from a memory. This creature does not exist on Earth. Her brain is generating a novel threat.
The chase ended in a burst of neural resolution. Linda had escaped, killed the beast in the dream, or simply outrun it. The brainwaves calmed.
She rehearsed a lethal scenario in detail, against a predator she has never encountered. No prior exposure. And now, she is calmer than before. She is practicing fear. Deliberately. Subconsciously. This is training.
Kreldhar saved the recording under a new tag. Simulated threat rehearsal. Subject, Linda. He watched for the next REM cycle, now certain that the first night had only shown him the surface of something far deeper. Linda's brain surged into REM again. The imager rendered a barren wasteland under a chrome sky. There, she fought a gray-skinned alien, its limbs segmented, wielding a pipe like a veteran soldier.
She has never seen this species. Yet her movements in the dream are efficient, brutal, practiced.
The dream fight ended with the alien crumpled. Linda's heart rate, which had spiked, began to ease.
She just rehearsed defeating a novel sentient adversary. Her brain constructed the opponent from nothing.
Another REM cycle, hours later, showed her pulling a child from a burning building, embers swirling. The child was imaginary, a face she had never seen. Yet, the rescue left her brainwaves serene.
Fear, then struggle, then triumph, then peace. Every rehearsal follows this emotional arc. My people rest in fragments, always partially aware. These are complete scenarios, rehearsals for threats that have not happened yet.
He opened the human science archives, desperate for any literature that explained this nightly warfare. The archive returned a human paper titled Threat Simulation Theory of Dreaming. Kreldhar's hands trembled as he opened it.
REM sleep rehearses ancestral threats, predators, enemies, disasters, to prime waking survival. They already know, they have a word for it. This is not a mystery to them, it is accepted biology.
At that moment, Linda stirred. Her eyes opened briefly, filled with the ghost of a nightmare. She exhaled, smiled faintly, and immediately slipped back into the abyss, her vitals steadying.
The nightmare did not traumatize her. She processed it, found closure, and sleeps deeper than before.
The brain scans showed a delta wave surge, the deepest sleep, right after the REM burst. She was consolidating.
They die a little each night and are reborn to face the day. This is their cycle.
Kreldhar leaned back, drenched in cold realization. He now understood the human secret, and it terrified him.
If I report this, what will the Coalition do? And what will I become?
Kreldhar pushed his dread aside and initiated a controlled trial. During Linda's deep, slow wave sleep, he triggered a klaxon. She did not wake. The dream imager resolved an earthquake, the ground splitting beneath her feet, her brain weaving the sound into the rehearsal.
External stimulus, integrated seamlessly into simulation. She adapted without ever regaining consciousness.
The following night, he administered a standard anxiety questionnaire before she entered the pod. Her score registered moderate. After 8 hours of vivid dreaming, fighting, fleeing, rescuing, she woke and completed the same form. Her anxiety had plunged 40%.
Statistically significant. Every night, she drowns in manufactured terror and surfaces calmer.
He overlaid the data. Every REM burst correlated with a drop in waking anxiety. The brain's rehearsal was inoculating her.
She trains during rest and emerges psychologically fortified. This is not mere sleep. This is conditioning. I will call it practicing death. She rehearses her own end every night and comes back stronger.
He stored the findings under a new encryption, his dread no longer paralyzing but sharp, focused, undeniable. He requested 2 more human subjects from the Coalition dormitory blocks. Within a cycle, they were in adjacent pods. One dreamed of a high-speed car chase, fleeing through neon-lit streets. The second froze before a faceless crowd in a lecture hall, voice gone.
Again. Fear, struggle, then calm. The pattern holds across subjects. They all do this.
When they woke, he interviewed them. They called the nightmares weird and felt oddly reset, as if a weight had lifted. One described dreaming of social shame and rejection, yet waking with a confidence he could not explain.
They simulate embarrassment, loss, failure, not just physical threats. They train for everything.
The data matched. Every subject's anxiety dropped after REM. Their brains rehearsed stress and emerged reinforced.
This is not an individual quirk. It is a species adaptation, a nightly forge for the mind. They are designed to adapt to any stressor, physical or social, by practicing it in sleep. This is an evolutionary weapon.
He began drafting a preliminary report, careful to suppress his species' primal terror, focusing only on the biological implications. The presentation room sealed with a hiss. Krelthar stood before Director Vera and a small panel of senior officials.
I will show you what I have observed. These are not mere dreams. They are rehearsals.
He activated the projector. Linda's dream of the saber-toothed chase played out in vivid, silent horror. The panel recoiled. A ripple of horror passed through the varied faces.
They are always prepared, even when resting. Their sleep is a continuous training ground.
You are suggesting humans are subconsciously armed at all times. This is a military concern, not a biological footnote. Effective immediately. This data is classified Level 3 pending security review. No one outside this room speaks of it.
The chamber dissolved into urgent voices. Holograms flickered with tactical scenarios as panic crept into the debate.
I have handed them the truth. Now they see humans as a sleeping threat, and they are terrified.
Krelthar returned to his lab, the weight of the classification pressing heavier than any scientific discovery he had ever made. In the sealed silence of his lab, Krelthar finalized the full report, 47 pages of dread. The title read, Human Sleep, a Nightly Survival Simulator.
I conclude that human REM sleep is nightly threat rehearsal, predator training, scenario practice, all at no biological cost.
Vera summoned him to a closed session. The panel had read the executive summary and sat in stunned silence.
What does this mean for our fleet, Master Krelthar? Are they always come back ready?
They have already dreamed our tactics. Every battle formation, every ambush, every betrayal, a human has survived it in sleep.
Silence swallowed the chamber. The assembled leaders stared at the hollow display, their species' doctrines rendered obsolete. Vera pressed her palm to the report. In crimson light, the seal flared, top secret, Coalition eyes only. Coalition security sealed the lab behind him. Only Krelthar and Vera held the encryption key.
She is training right now. Every night, humans prepare for a war they do not know is coming.
Vera summoned the senior staff within the hour. The directive was cold and absolute.
Effective immediately. All Coalition forces adopt a non-provocation posture toward human space. No exceptions, no interference with human sleep. Observation only. Under no circumstances will we attempt to replicate their state.
And if we could learn from it, if we could train as they do, could our people survive what is coming?
Our nature forbids full unconsciousness. It is spiritual treason. You, of all people, know that. This matter is closed.
Krelthar returned to his quarters. The seed of disobedience had already split its husk.
She forbids it, but I must know. This is not about policy. It is the only way to understand them, to survive them.
He requisitioned a compact sleep pod and military-grade sedatives, filing false research permits under a defunct project code.
I will attempt what my species calls soul abandonment. If humans can die nightly and return, I must at least try.
He calibrated the neural entrainer to mimic human delta waves, then paused, his hand trembling over the activation rune. He pressed the injector to his neck. The sedative hissed into his bloodstream, cold and immediate.
Warmth spread through his limbs. Consciousness trembled on the edge of surrender.
Then the abyss yawned open, and a terror older than memory seized him. His body's deepest reflex screamed survival. His eyes snapped open. He gasped, jolting upright, drenched in cold sweat. Paralysis had not come.
I cannot. The fear is absolute. My biology will not permit soul abandonment. It is unforgivable.
He tried again with the neural entrainer, but his brainwaves spiked into alertness every 90 seconds. His species microburst, unbreakable.
I record my failure. Human sleep remains unique. I am not capable of practicing death.
On the primary monitor, Linda floated through a dream of flight, her face serene, her brain rehearsing freedom. And for the first time since the study began, Krelthar wept silently in the dark of his quarters.
They do this every night. They die a little and are reborn. And I am just less.
He queried the Coalition biobank. 30 species. Not one exhibited REM or full unconsciousness. The hollow display confirmed it. Humans alone surrendered nightly. He typed, "They voluntarily die." Linda's dream that night left the jungle behind. She walked through a diplomatic reception, alien delegates all around her.
Coalition ships now orbit in her sleep. She has never seen them, yet she rehearses their arrival. Her brain is incorporating our reality. She will be ready for us before we are ready for her. Human adaptation outpaces my fear. Their nightly rehearsal already includes our entire species.
With cold certainty, he pulled up a blank document. The cursor blinked, awaiting his warning.
If I do not speak, every human dream will soon hold our military secrets. They will have rehearsed our downfall.
On the feed, Linda stirred slightly, a faint smile on her lips as she negotiated with ghosts in her sleep. By dawn, the draft carried a new classification warning and a single, terrible title, Human Sleep Integration. The council chamber gleamed. Krelthar stood center, 100 alien eyes upon him.
For 100 nights, I have watched them rehearse death. They have died 1,000 times and are not afraid.
He played the nightmare recordings. The assembly recoiled in collective horror. A council member scoffed. "It is only dreaming."
The data classifies humans as a permanent subconscious threat. We will adopt a non-provocation stance, effective immediately.
The motion passed. The central hollow displayed the new order. No aggressive posturing near human space. Across the fleet, command consoles lit with the directive, "Do not provoke humans."
It is done. They will abide by fear, and that must suffice.
His hands trembled as he gripped the edge of the podium. He walked from the chamber into the empty corridor, the weight of a secret no human would ever know. Back in the lab, Krelthar loaded a fresh cognitive protocol. He placed a spatial puzzle in front of Linda before she slept. Solve time before sleep, 120 seconds. She slipped into the pod, and her dreams carried her far from the lab. After 8 hours of flight and fight in her inner world, she woke and faced the puzzle again. 83 seconds.
She is not only rehearsing threats, her mind is rewiring for efficiency. She is sharper than the day before.
He tracked her prefrontal cortex as she solved an abstract logic gate, regions lit that had been dark before sleep.
Sleep is their forge and their armory. It makes them sharper with every sunrise.
He filed a request for permanent assignment, citing the ongoing classified research. The reply came unsigned but approved. From this day forward, his life would orbit hers. He would be the witness to her nightly resurrections.
I will watch over your training, Linda. You will never know, but I will ensure the galaxy stays out of your dreams.
And so Krelthar sealed his commitment. The secret lay locked tighter than any casket, deeper than any dream. Years clawed across his hands. The console showed the same feeds. Now, a decade deep, he received the Coalition Medal of Psi Science with a hollow smile. His colleagues saw only the triumph.
They honor a lie. I have never told the full truth.
Remote access brought Linda into view. Silver streaked her hair, but her sleep was unchanged. Her dreams now terraformed alien worlds. She built civilizations and fought ecological collapse in her mind.
She trains for challenges we cannot imagine, and I watch, unable to join.
He had witnessed her die 1,000 deaths. Each morning she rose more resilient.
She is more alive than any of us. Her mortality is a weapon.
Admiration curdled into a fierce protectiveness. He would guard her sleep forever. And so the years rolled on, his secret buried deeper than the bedrock of Earth. Kreldhar, stooped and gray, stood before the hall of young diplomats, a cane steadying his weight. He cued the archive. Linda's tiger chase flickered to life. The new generation blanched.
Every human you meet has spent their nights rehearsing your worst strategies. Do not provoke them. They sharpen while they rest. You do not. The gap widens with every sunrise.
A young diplomat, scales tight, found his voice. What if we strike first, before they can rehearse?
Then you face a human who has already dreamed your ambush. You cannot win. You live with it.
Silence swallowed the hall. The young diplomats stared at the frozen image, the lesson piercing their ambition.
They will carry this fear. It is all I can leave them.
The recording looped back to Linda's sleeping face, serene and oblivious, still training in her dreams. Kreldhar leaned on his cane. The torch of terror had been passed. Linda woke in the soft dawn of a Detroit morning, yawned deeply, and stretched her arms toward the ceiling. She shuffled barefoot across the cool floor to the kitchen, poured a mug of black coffee, and began to hum a melody she couldn't quite place. In another part of the galaxy, an alien was terrified of her dreams.
Enjoy your coffee, Linda. You earned it with last night's war. She fought wars, rescued children, fled monsters, and now she hums.
Linda took a sip, the steam curling around her calm face as the morning sun washed over her.
I cannot decide if she is oblivious or simply victorious.
Her brain, even now, was cataloging the night's rehearsals, printing new neural paths for dangers yet to come. She smiled at nothing. A private peace born of battles she would never remember. And across the void, an old alien watched and waited and kept the secret she would never know. A slim volume reached every corner of the coalition. The dreaming enemy, redacted but unmistakable. On the first page, Kreldhar's warning. They die each night and return stronger. Do not test their waking wrath.
I have laid the warning bare. Every admiral, every minister has heard the truth now.
He pulled up the old hologram of Linda, frozen in that first week, innocent and unguarded.
I have watched you grow sharper, braver, more dangerous, and you have never known. The galaxy will never test you.
The book spread through wardrooms and academies, a quiet terror binding 100 worlds.
The secret is now permanent. It can never be unread.
He set the hologram aside and watched the real feed. Linda, older now, humming in her kitchen.
I have warned them. The rest is up to them.
The sun set over the red garden. The book lay open on his bench, the hologram flickering softly. Older Linda sat on the edge of the bed, her hand resting on the small form tucked beneath the blanket.
Sleep tight, sweetheart. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
The child's eyes fluttered closed. In the silence, the bedroom monitors pulsed a soft blue, and deep within, the child's brain began its nightly rehearsal. Light years away, Kreldhar watched the new data feed, his ancient eyes fixed on the tiny waveform.
They will never know how strong they are.
The child dreamed of riding a great bird, soaring over impossible landscapes, already training for a world not yet born. Kreldhar smiled, a thin, crumpled line, and leaned back into his chair. The monitors flickered on, silent and eternal, as another dreamer entered the cycle. And across the galaxy, An old alien kept a weary vigil, the secret now safe for another generation. Krell sat alone in his homeworld garden, the red sky deepening into violet dusk. No sedatives, no entrainers, only a weary surrender to the quiet of the evening. For the first time in his life, a dream came, not forced, not feared. He was running. Beside him, humans, Linda among them, fought a common shadow. He swung a weapon he did not recognize and laughed. He woke with a start, 3 eyes snapping open to the fading red of his world.
Perhaps they are not so different.
He looked at the old hologram of Linda, still flickering beside him on the bench. The garden slipped into true dusk, the red bleeding away into a soft, colorless peace. The secret remained, but it no longer felt like a cage, only a quiet duty, shared now with the stars. He leaned back, the hologram resting on his chest, and for the first time in 100 years, he was not afraid. A young alien researcher, tentacles poised, accessed the classified archive in the dead of the 3rd shift. The file materialized. Human sleep study. Master Krellhar. With a hesitant touch, she opened it. Linda's tiger chase flickered to life, silent and savage. Her 4 eyes widened. The holo-vids continued. Fighting, falling, saving, dying, rising. She whispered the words etched into every coalition warning. They practiced death. Her hand trembled over the terminal. But she tapped the lock icon, sealing the file once more. The seal re-encoded, the crimson top secret, flashing briefly before vanishing into the data stream. She stepped back into the shadows of the archive, the weight of the secret settling onto her young shoulders. And so, the galaxy learned to tread lightly around those who train in the dark. The file locked, the secret endured, and somewhere a human dreamed.